You're such an asshole.
All right, we have a request. And if you have a request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com. Why? The only world's professional. Hi, my name is Anonymous. I currently work as an armed security guard, debating if I should get a second job. I work night shift, 7 p.m. to 2:30, and wake up at 8 a.m. Would like to hear your opinion. And so I say, well, I need more information, like what's your job and all your schedule and all that. My current schedule is working 7 p.m. to around 2:45 or 3 a.m. I get home about 20 minutes or so. I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you are probably doing nighttime. Well, I mean, obviously nighttime, but like what the hell? Nightclub cripes. You're on the party shift. You're dealing with the drunks and the assholes. I don't know what you're protecting. You're protecting a building, something. You're out there when the drunks and the assholes come out. So you cannot work on this, especially if you're armed. So I'm just going to assume you are dealing with people. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it leaves my whole day free. Not to mention Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you're kind of doing like 4 10s, even though it's not 10s, but they probably gave you a pay differential. So they pay you a handsome $27 an hour. That's nice. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Leaves my whole day free, which leads me to consider a second job, or I might just ask to work on my days off. I'm single. I do not have any friends I actively hang out with, live with my parents. I barely finished paying off my credit card debt. I have some training as a medical assistant, started the process of getting my degree for computer science. Dude, you need to learn to use periods. This is all one fucking paragraph. I don't care if you get your degree in computer science. If you don't learn to spell, no one's going to hire you. And you wasted 4 years in school because you don't know the power of the period. Financially, I'm doing okay. I have roughly $10,000 with what's in my bank account and stocks. I own about to start a whole life insurance policy. Why do you why do you have a life insurance policy? You have no children, do you? Why? No. In order for the life insurance policy to kick in, you need to die. Do not get a life insurance policy. Stop that. No, I don't know what salesman talked you into that. Cancel it now. Knock that off. When you have kids, then you get a life insurance policy. Okay, I have another place to put my money. Would like to know if I'm doing adulting or any advice on what I could do to make a positive change. All right. If you don't have an IRA, dude, I don't know where you got the idea to get life insurance. Okay. So unless a kid is dependent upon you, knock that shit off. Take that money instead and throw it into an IRA so you get a tax deduction. If you don't know what an IRA is, look it up on the internet or go get the book Bachelor Pad Economics. Matter of fact, what you should probably do is go get Bachelor Pad Economics anyway and only read the chapters that are germane to you so you know what you're doing financially. Right now, it just sounds like you're randomly doing shit. I don't know why someone telling some 20-year-old kid, young man, who doesn't have kids get a life insurance policy. So it leads me to believe some salesman got it in your head. No. I'm just saying an IRA, or if your company offers a 401k, which I don't know if it does, that's where I'd be throwing my money into a retirement fund, not insurance. So what you got? You're making a good wage. You're making money. You're paying off your debts. You're living at home. In short, generally what you're doing is you're in the wandering the desert. You're doing your 40 years in the desert, but it's not 40, but it's more like 4. This is what every young man and woman has to go through, where you just suck it up, you crack down, you work hard, sacrifice on sleep, get your finances squared away. So you're doing pretty good. You're only working 4 days a week, which is fine. And that would give you capacity to work other jobs, but you're going to go to school for computer science. That's going to take time, man. And some studying. And I don't, honestly, if you're going to school full time, that's it. You're loaded up. You're 80 hours a week with whatever hours you're working your security guard shift. then taking the actual courses and then studying, you're at 80 hours. I mean, yeah, you could redline it to 100, but there's not a lot of room for you to take a second job. The only ways that I could see you taking a second job is where by necessity you're going to double dip, which is how I went to school full time and worked full time, was by being able to inevitably get the sit down shifts and do desk security work where you're allowed to study. Now, you already got an advantage here because you're working in a security firm. So I got to imagine they have other security details that are not armed guard, babysitting the drunks at nightclubs type of gig is what you're doing right now. So you already have an employer. See if you could get more work from them. However, I'm going to assume you've established a rapport. Seems like you're on good employment terms with them. Say, hey, I'm going to go to school for computer science. Do you have any nighttime shifts where I could sit and study? Because why screw with your sleeping schedule, right? You're already on the sleeping schedule. So and that's like the ideal schedule. Second shift, kind of going into dog shift, 7 to 3. Why not see if they have some warehouse security or some kind of unarmed security? It might still be armed, but you're not babysitting people. And just do what I did and study while you're working that night shift. I mean, you got to do your patrols and all that. But see if your current employer has any of those type of shifts. That'd be my first go-to. And then the added bonus on top of that, I don't know how your pay works right now, but you're pushing 40. You're not at 40 yet. But now it gives you the opportunity for overtime. Now, your employer might be reluctant to give you that because they don't want to pay you overtime. But given today's unreliability of young people in general to show up on time and do the job right, you might be able to, well, let me do the math. Where did the calculator go? It's hiding behind the camera. All right, 3 to 7, 12 minus 7, 5 plus 3. So you're at 32 hours. So you could probably get another shift without going into overtime, and they'd probably be okay with giving you that. And even that one shift per night or per week would help you focus on your studies, get that done, make you a little bit of money on top of it. They're willing to give you 8 to 16 hours overtime, so you get another 8 hours plus this is 6 to 30, between 16 and 32 more hours. So it'd fill in the 3 days that you got off or evenings that you got off. You don't screw with your sleep schedule, and you can get overtime and get paid to sit and study. Boom. Now you're on fire. All your cylinders are firing. You got your 4 shifts working armed security where you can't do no studying. You take courses during the daytime because you're starting at 7. I wouldn't start your course. If you're going online for school, good. Then you can take those courses whenever you want. Doesn't affect your sleep schedule. That's brilliant. Make sure it's accredited. Then you go work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your sit-down study shifts, bang all your studying out of the way. And then I think that would be ideal. With the same employer getting overtime for at least 2 of those shifts. That would be ideal. But the only other way I could see it working is you go work for another employer. Like, you don't quit your current job, you go work security somewhere else. See if it's all right with your current employer, although I think non-compete agreements can't be enforced anymore. But you go work a sit-down security shift or some other kind of job, only part-time at night, same schedule, but you cannot be on foot patrol. You can't be dealing with people. You have to be left the fuck alone so you can focus and study. That way you make a little bit more money. It doesn't affect your studying. It's not going to affect your sleep. But you're not going to get overtime. And it doesn't have to be security, like I said, some other kind of job. But like, you couldn't even Uber. Somewhere in here, if you're going to be serious about your studies, you're going to need some sit the fuck down and study time and bang out all that shit. And so that's where I'd be very prone to recommend some more security work. If you can't find any security work or some kind of job where it allows you to sit down and study, now you're going to have to cut into, if you were majoring in journalism where you didn't need a brain cell to do it, you could, fine. But this is computer science. You're going to have to start cutting into like, okay, you're going to go to school part-time and then work. But honestly, let's say you didn't find a second job. Let's just say you keep doing what you're doing now and you go to school for computer science. You said you got yourself out of debt. You don't have rent. You're making a good salary. Dude, there's nothing wrong with that. That's already way more than the average person does. Going to school for computer science and working effectively a full-time job. That's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. Fine, you're not making as much money as you'd like, but you're getting out of debt. You've saved up 10 grand. You're doing great for mid-20s. You're doing great. You got no debt, really? I mean, come on. That's pretty good. You got a semi-professional job being armed security, and then you're going to go to school for computer science. Most girls should wish to find a guy like you. Okay, that's pretty good. Eh? I'm just saying, if you want for your own, like, hey, I ain't got no friends. There's really no opportunity cost of socializing. Man, a sweet gig would be to just sit down security with your current employer or overtime, or maybe not a different employer, but you could study, you could bank, get that degree out of the way more quickly. Make a little bit of extra money. Yeah. Then by the time you're 30, you're sitting real good. Degree, maybe look at a professional job and then work security part. Dude, I work security well into my 40s because it's such a good gig. You got anything going on? Nah. You want to make some money? Sure. Sit in this room and don't go anywhere. All right. Can I use my laptop? You sure can. All right. See you later. That's what I'd be doing. So there. Yeah. I think you got a good idea. That's it. There you go. That's it. See you guys later. Toodles.